This is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN.Network. And joining me right now is Rachel Goldman. She is the CEO of Paramount Gold Nevada Corp. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is PZG on the NYSE American. You can actually see Rachel give an investor presentation at the upcoming Precious Metal Summit Beaver Creek hybrid event this year, happening September 8th through the 11th. Rachel, thank you so much for joining me again. How you doing?
Thank you, Robert. I'm doing really well. It's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too. So last time we did an interview together that was published, it was on September 8th, 2020. So would love to get an update. What would you say are some of the company's highlights in the last 12 months or so?
Sure. Certainly last year was a challenging year, I'd say, for everybody in terms of transitioning to a COVID reality. Our big deliverable for last year was the completion of our feasibility study on the Grassy Mountain project. And since we met on September 8th, I believe that would have been released just a couple of weeks later. So that was able to get completed on time. We were very fortunate in the respect that the work had progressed to the point that it was desktop related work by the time that COVID hit. And so Ausenco, who was lead on the study, along with our partners who were also contributing to the study, Golder and MDA, were able to get all that work completed. So it's a huge step forward for the company. It also allowed us to fill in some of the missing pieces, I would say, were some of the details that would need to be addressed in this upcoming submission for the all-important permitting in Oregon for Grassy Mountain. As a reminder, this will be the first mine ever permitted in the state. So certainly there are some extra hoops to jump through when you're the first. Having completed the feasibility study, though, did round out the body of work that's going to be required to make that submission, which should be completed. We're targeting for the end of the summer, so call it, let's say, next month, since we're already at the end of this month and it hasn't been in yet. But that's on track, and it's looking like it's in pretty good shape at this juncture.
So as you said, you're looking to be this first mine being permitted in Oregon. I mean, what are some of the extra hoops that could be out there? Do you know what they are yet? Or do you have to wait until it's submitted?
In some senses we do. I'd broadly characterize it that since it's the first time that the regulators themselves have also gone through this process, there's probably a lot more collaborative discussions that go on about certain intentions or certain details within the mining laws as they're established now. I mean, I can't really go into too much detail about the specific details of things that we were looking to address, but all this to say, I mean, it's been a very collaborative effort with the regulators, and we're hopeful that once this submission goes in, the process is basically the application will be deemed complete, and then at that juncture will be moved into a 225-day review period, at which point we would receive draft permits. And then 140 days after receiving draft permits, we would be issued final permits. So certainly there are a lot of eyes on this process and on the project being the first. I think once we see this move forward into the next phase, it could be an interesting catalyst for other companies, other capital to come into the state, perhaps looking for opportunities as well. We ourselves actually have another project that we're going to be starting to drill imminently in Oregon as well. So we're pretty excited about that too.
I have to ask, and I can't believe I didn't ask this on the first time we chatted, but what brought you to Oregon in the first place?
Well, this is a decision that predated me. Paramount 2.0, because the first company was called Paramount Gold and Silver, had been acquired by Core Mining in 2015. In 2016, Paramount acquired Calico Resources that owned the Grassy Mountain project. Now, for a small company looking for growth opportunities, certainly smaller companies tend to be both capital constrained and opportunity constrained. So you tend to find yourself fishing in pools of assets that maybe have been overlooked for a number of reasons, or that other operators haven't been willing to take on certain types of challenges. So while Paramount won't take on extreme geologic challenges, for example, we do like looking at deposits where we can see quick return, strong economics, and the permitting while being the first, there can also be advantages to being the first. You can have an opportunity to forge strong relationships with the regulators to help the thinking around how certain aspects should be established, or where maybe there are things that need to be changed. So that didn't discourage the company. At the outset, would we have thought it would be a bit quicker? Perhaps, but again, when you're the first one, it's an unproven path at that juncture, and I think that's part of what's reflected in the market cap of the company now, is that there's skepticism that we'll ever get these permits. We're quite encouraged by the process, and when we see reason to be encouraged going forward, but the proof will be in the pudding.
Very good. Well, with that, from what you can tell us, what would you say are some of the company's value catalysts now for the rest of this year in 2021 going into 2022?
Absolutely. So certainly for this year, we have the upcoming CPA submission. That's the consolidated permit application to the state of Oregon, which will be followed then by an updated plan of operations to the Bureau of Land Management. But before that, we will be starting to drill our Frost property, which is also in Oregon. So this is a 12-mile distance from Grassy. It's trucking distance. We received the permits to drill it from the state of Oregon earlier this spring. However, we were also waiting for the sage grouse mating season to be complete, and just some logistical issues surrounding rig and so on. So we're very excited to get drilling at Frost. This is a property that had historically been drilled by Western Mining in the 90s. They had hit intercepts up to 25 grams per ton gold, and that had never been followed up on. So what's exciting for us with Frost is that if we do find significant amount of gold there, it could easily be trucked to a common Grassy site. So that will also help improve the economics at Grassy and extend the mine life. So we're really pretty excited to get in there. The site prep work has been done. The drill rig is on site. And so any day now, we should be able to announce that we've started drilling.
Very good. And Rachel, with that, where can our audience go and find more information on Paramount Gold Nevada?
You can find more information on our website, which is ParamountNevada.com. In addition to the two bits of activity that we have going on in Oregon, we've also started to do some development work at our sleeper property in Nevada. So when we talk about, a less familiar jurisdiction in Oregon, certainly we have a very familiar jurisdiction in Nevada. And Sleeper is a historic producer. So in December of this past year, we announced an initial development plan that will includes a number of different components. So there's some metallurgical tests that are ongoing to test the recoveries for sulfides. In addition, we acquired another land claim package just south of the old Sleeper pit, about 2 miles south. So the data from that land package, in addition to the previous drilling data and other production related data from the Sleeper property, is currently being analyzed to put together a drill program as well that we intend to get to as a starter anyway this fall. So we have a number of different catalysts on the come that we're quite excited to be able to share with the market.
Well, Rachel, thank you so much for joining us today. I really do appreciate it. Good luck, stay safe, and I look forward to our next update.
Thank you, Robert. So do I.
Thank you. Again, my name is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN.Network, and we're a proud media sponsor for the Precious Metals Summit Beaver Creek hybrid event this year, happening September 8th through the 11th. Rachel will be there giving an investor presentation, and thank you all for watching.